Welcome to a Few TSU Sports Fans podcast, where we talk all things TSU sports and our passion meets the game. From the biggest plays to the hottest debates, we bring you everything TSU sports. Whether you're diehard or just getting in the game, we've got you covered. Let's talk TSU. Go Big Blue.
Welcome to another Few TSU Sports Fan. It's been a while, but things at TSU has not slowed down at all.
No.
Yeah. So Demetrius and I did June 19th show. A little rough, a little bit, due to some technical issues. But we did get a chance to talk to Trina Kerr and also Coach Penny. And so one comment that sort of kept in my head there, he was saying, even if I leave, Zerda Win Week should remain as a good fundraising opportunity for Tennessee State University. Lo and behold, that a few weeks later, we found out Coach Penny has resigned. What were your initial thoughts? I know you guys are the basketball aficionados here. What were your thoughts about hearing that Coach Penny has stepped down? Go ahead, Demetrius.
Woo. Man, I was shocked, but not surprised, but surprised, if that makes any sense. I thought he would get one more shot, one more crack at it to see this thing through, because he had his nucleus was back. He was in all intents and purposes, he was a failed possession away from, going to the OVC championship, and I believe that if they would have got over that semifinal hump, they were going to make the dance, and they were a failed possession. For those watching who may not know what I'm speaking on, we had the ball with a chance to win it, and couldn't get a shot off. And I think if you would see Coach Penny on the street, see him in an interview, see him anywhere, I think he'll tell you that hurt. That one hurt, and it hurt the fans. It hurt their program. I think it hurt, and I think he knew. I knew. The fans knew that was our shot, and I thought he was going to try one more crack at it. So yeah, I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked.
Yeah, this was the team that he has on campus now. Is probably the most players he's brought back, from the previous year. He's bringing back like 6 or 7, which is the most he's probably brought back in a long time. And he brought back key players, right? And key players that I think that's poised to win it next year, win the OVC next year. So for him to dip, it wasn't surprising. It really wasn't surprising. I told you guys, I think it was back in April, that I had a feeling he wasn't going to be here July 1. And I didn't know that it's going to be him, leaving on his, I didn't think it would be him going to the NBA, just put it that way. But I'm glad it is, because, Penny he's a Nashvilleian, he's a native son. Nashville has a lot of native sons, but he's one of them. His family is large, is connected, very athletic family. And he has a lot of support So I'm glad his tenure with Tennessee State ended with him getting in, leaving on his own.
On his
Okay.
own. Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
if he, with this roster he has, he had to win with this roster for next year, right? He was able to retain players, and he was going to have to win this coming year, 25-26 season, and not maybe 17-16, 18-15. He's probably going to have to make some waves in the OVC tournament. So I'm glad that he went out on his own, that he left in good standing with Tennessee State and with the folks of Nashville, and everyone. So I'm happy for him. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just one more thing on this, Rodney. Like, we talk about just basketball savants and people who, when you talk ball with some folks, you could just feel that energy. Um, I felt that with him when they were in Charlotte for the Aurora City tour, and we were talking about NBA, and I was, my kids were there. My oldest son had a Halliburton jersey, and he said, "Well, I know who y'all going for because it was game one against the Knicks." And I was like, "Well, who you want?" He said, "Man, I want the Knicks to win because I want it for their fans." And you could hear that passion in his voice, and I know that he wanted. Some cats that come through 3,500, it's a job opportunity.
Uh-huh.
It's an opportunity for them um, to keep doing what they love. But I felt like this was an opportunity for him to do it at home, and this always felt a little different,
Yeah.
which I think added a little bit of extra pressure um, to the situation for him. And again, I don't know Penny personally. I know him from seeing him around. His wife and I were in the same class, so but I don't know him personally, right? Um, but I know just with any situation when you go home like that and you got that extra pressure, you know,
Uh-huh.
he's got that pressure from the folks that he's probably been knowing since he moved from Memphis. Now we talk about full circle. We're gonna get to that,
Mhm.
but moved from Memphis who probably doubted him, right? The folks that said, "Ah, you ain't good enough for Division One, so you gotta go to Belmont," right? Those that have been counting him out his whole life, and then now that he gets this job back home, right? This is a chance for him to prove folks wrong, but he's still got folks that's still doubting him. And I just think that, this is a hard job, but I thought, he did the best he could. And, there's a question out there that he lead the program better than when he came. I'm going to say yes because I think the roster is better than what Dana Ford left him. Now the performance may not be, but I think the roster, like Eric Buggs, who has this roster
Mhm.
versus what Penny had, I think I think it's set up for
Y'all keep
Eric to
that going.
have
I'll be
good
back.
good success. I guess I didn't ran Lamar off.
I can edit it out. Should we stop or
No, keep going.
okay? Um, but yeah, I mean, I one thing talking about legacy of the program, and one thing I thought about, I don't have an answer because I remember going back to Coach Ford. I remember when we played Duke, right, as a centerpiece, and how that really came together. I remember going back, Coach Cooper uh, getting hosed in the championship game, the OVC championship game. That last when it was clearly was a charge by the Murray State guy, and
Yep.
and we fortunately recovered him to make it. We lost that game by 2 points, whatever, 2 or 3 points, whatever it was. But I was trying to think about 8 years. What was your most memorable thing um, from his time? And I really can come up with one, right? I couldn't. There's some low points. After COVID, how that transition. Um, but couldn't think of what's the highest point do you remember from his time? What's the best win can you remember uh, from Penny's time? So TSU Mass, I brought up, we lost to Duke, playing Duke with Coach Ford, how high that was, and then Coach Cooper losing to Murray State, beating Murray State, first, because they were undefeated, and Coach Cooper beat them. They're going OVC championship game off of. Yeah, so look at that. Penny's highest point. Yeah.
So I think that's it, man. I wasn't gonna speak on it, but I have to, you know, contradict Demetrius a little bit because I don't think that he left it in a better place than what he got it. I think he probably status quo. Probably left it as is. As it was. Because you're gonna have to give me a little leeway on this. Because I've been around for a long time, and I was in the spot when before we got Carlos Rogers and Tim Horton and Monte Wilson and all those cats. I was there when we only won 4 games in the season. And then that next year we were in the OVC, won an OVC tournament, and and then went into the NCAA tournament. That was with Frankie Allen. But then after I think it was Joe Johnson. I think his name was Joe Johnson. His last name was Johnson. I can't remember the big guy, 6'9". I think after '96, we didn't have a winning season until John Cooper's last year, where Robin Covington was a junior. And that was what, 2011-12, I think it was. I think 2011-12. So think about it. We didn't have a winning season for 15, 16 seasons straight. So all I wanted was just to have coaches to have a winning season. And Penny did that, right? So he did what I thought. I mean, just to have a winning season was enough for me, because to hang our hat on, because we went so long without one. But like you said, Rodney, John Cooper, I mean, he beat Murray State. He also beat South Carolina that year, right? University of South Carolina SEC team. And then he beat 9th ranked, and Murray State was ranked 9th that year.
Yeah.
And then they played in the OVC championship and lost on the last second shot.
Yeah.
Then they went on to the CIT. I think it was called no, it wasn't even CIT. It was I can't remember. CIT, one of those. It wasn't the NIT or the NCAA. And then they lost to Miami, Ohio. I think it was overtime. I could be wrong, Miami, Ohio, but one of them. Ball State, Miami, Ohio, Ball State, one of them.
It was Mercer. I'm looking at it. Yeah, Mercer. Yeah.
We've had a couple of games with them. So anyway.
Yeah.
So then you had Williams, who took over, and after his, he was only there for 2 years, so we kind of go right past his tenure, right into Ford's tenure. And by the way, Cooper had us down to rank 162 on KenPom.
Here we go.
When he left. Okay. Ranked 162 on KenPom when he left. And then, Ford comes in. He had a bad season's first year. He had to rebuild the roster. And, John Cooper had recruited Robert Covington, Patrick Miller, and NBA, G League player, and then Covington is of course a NBA player, and then Cooper comes in and brings in DeShields. He brings in Tajir McCall, who's an NBA player. He played only 1 or 2 games in the NBA, but he's an NBA player. And we even though we lost these games, we lost games to Texas by 1 point, one last second, last second shot. We lost a game from. We beat. No, we lost to Duke by 10 points.
Mhm.
Duke only scored 63 points on us, which is the highest. The lowest that we ever held them. For that year. And then we lost the overtime game to North Carolina A&T.
North Carolina State.
North Carolina State.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah,
North Carolina State.
yeah. That's
Okay.
what I meant. Yeah, Demetrius. Yeah,
So
yeah.
so you lose. So we beat Santa Clara that year. We beat Santa Clara. We beat Northern Arizona. We beat MTSU. We lost 10 to Duke. Got blown out by Vanderbilt, and then lost to overtime in North Carolina State. We received a point. We received a couple of votes to be in the top 25 in December. We were 9-3. We received 1 or 2 votes to be ranked in the top 25. That's a program, and we were ranked 160, which is the highest we've ever been ranked since they started this whole Kim Palm, and at least since I've been involved in around 2000 or so. But with Penny, Penny had a great game against Texas Tech. They lost by 15 points. They lost by 13 points by San Diego State. This past year they lost to Colorado State, they lost to Colorado State in overtime, which happens to be the same team that beat Memphis in the NCAA tournament. So Penny had some good runs, but all his years though, his highest ranking was 250. I know people don't put a whole bunch of value in that, but I think it means something. I think that means something. So when Penny has a better winning percentage than anyone since we started playing in the OVC. So he has a better winning percentage. But when you look at the type of wins that we've had, I just think that the quality of wins, I just think that we probably did a little better those previous years. Not trying to compare him, I'm just putting more perspective onto your comment, right? You made a comment that he left us in a better position. I wasn't going to speak on it, but I had to at least bring some clarity to it because he never beat Murray State or Belmont, but those previous coaches did. Now we haven't played Murray State and Belmont a couple of years, but we've beaten Murray State and we've beaten Belmont. Coach Ford beat both of them. Cooper did. Travis Williams did. But we haven't done it. It's, again, those quality of wins. So I just wanted to bring a little clarity to it since you brought it up.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what the show is about, right?
Yeah.
That don't hurt my feelings. I still think that if you look at the roster, I'm not talking about what Dana Ford built. I'm talking about what he inherited.
Okay.
I think what Penny inherited versus what Coach Bugs is inheriting.
Mm-hmm.
I think Coach Bugs has a jump start more than anybody of the predecessors that we've had. And this thing is set up for him to, to really do what he got to do. And we'll see. We'll see what happens this winter. I think Madness Show points are all valid. You know, signature wins matter. Big time losses do too. I'm still pissed about the loss in Austin, Texas, when I think it was the Shields. Pass that ball, bruh. Or whoever. I don't know who it was. I can't remember who it was.
No, it wasn't the Shields. So that was the Texas loss was the year after the Shields. That was
I can see his face. He's still playing. He's still playing professionally overseas. He's still.
Yeah, I
Professional.
forget his name.
Is it Delano Spencer?
Delano Spencer.
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
exactly.
That's
Yeah,
yeah.
it.
Delano
Delano
That's
Spencer.
Spencer.
it. I
You
still
know,
see
he
that
got
play.
he got nervous. Your boy, I think it was Coleman. I forget which one it was. That hit that shot, which he shouldn't have hit.
Mm.
And then Spencer, I think, brought it all down all the way by himself and pulled up too soon.
I'm still bad at HBCU game day. They put the clip of from
From Fresh
Will
Prince of
Smith,
Bel
Fresh
Air
Prince, with
of
with Carlton
Carlton.
just put up.
Carlton.
I'm like, man, that's dead wrong. HBCU game day. That's dead wrong.
That was funny. I ain't gonna even lie.
Man.
But I think, and I'm gonna just end it on this. Tennessee State University basketball. You know, I said it on Twitter all this week, last week. It, I don't see why anybody wouldn't want this job.
Yeah.
You know, um, it's in a basketball conference. It's in a thriving city. You're 3 or 4 hours from what I call basketball hotbeds in Atlanta, Memphis. You can still hit some nice markets to get some players up in Birmingham, Nap, and surrounding areas. So, I'm putting all my eggs behind the interim coach because he's the coach. Um, but this is a good job, and
Yeah.
I'm eager to see what's going to happen this winter.
Yeah. So there were, different podcasts and different, that came out and said, hey, we're going to hire somebody new. Right. So, do you think they're going to hire somebody new in the next month or so? Do you see that?
No,
Yeah.
no.
See?
If this had happened a tad earlier, we would have somebody on our staff with UT connections. I'm pretty sure, but I have to admit it's pretty late. That would be a monumental task to, even if you bring him in within the next 2 weeks. But if it happens, it has to happen next week, I think.
Right.
But so in that aspect, I think they'll go with someone that's already on staff.
Long term.
I don't think so. Well, it all depends. If one of the coaches that's on staff right now turns it out this year, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bugs. He has. It's his show,
Yeah.
unless he has told Mickey he doesn't want to do it long term. Which anytime you get a shot to drive the car, you take it.
Yeah.
So um, I'm with Madness on this. If this would have happened, hell, even a month ago, I think things would be different. But it's not, and I think you do more harm to the program to make a change. These kids just got on campus. These
Yeah.
new kids just got on campus last week, um, and right now you go with it, and you take your time. Mickey, take your time. And if the person is right there on campus, and you need to just make some tweaks to whatever they want, so be it. But if you need to bring somebody else in, you got a whole season to evaluate.
Yeah. Yeah. What's interesting too, like Eric Bugg said, they did my UT is on staff. Coach Bone is
Yeah.
a UT guy. So it's
So
interesting.
no, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about.
I know, but I'm just, I'm making it.
I know. But here's the thing, though. When was Bucks hired?
Last year.
He's
been on there all year.
Yeah, this is 1 year.
He's only been there 1 year.
Copy.
So I think he go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, 28.
No, I was just saying that he coached other assistants at other institutions. I think that's probably what got him the position more so than anyone else on staff.
From what I read and heard, he was the piece behind UT Martin's run.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
So those guards that they brought in, and he was pivotal in bringing some of those players in. So um, from what I've been told, just a few folks that I know in that circle, that coaching circle, he's up next. Not to say that Coach Bone. I know somebody else. Our friends in Nashville, gave him good praise. I like Bone too. But only one person can get it. Only one person can get it. So, um, yeah, I think they got a good staff. They got good pieces, and let's see what happens.
Okay. Same. So yeah, we'll see what happens, and he got an opportunity. He has followed us on Twitter. Coach Eric Bugs has, so he's ready to go.
He's engaged.
Get him on.
He's definitely engaged.
So, all right. Next news. So we talked about hockey for a long time, and something was leaked, and then it became true. So here we are. We have a delayed but not denied hockey team right now. So what are your thoughts about, what happened? Whoever wants to go first. I don't, yeah.
I like the FT at Tennessee State font.
I know, I do too. That's sweet. I need to get that on the sweater. I need that on the sweater.
That.
Yes.
I like that font.
That's the band's font, by the way, too, I think.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Too.
I like it, and I'm gonna be short. We just keep moving the goalposts. I hope at some point we get in the end zone. I still think that this is a great initiative. I don't even look at it from a diversity standpoint. I just look at it from, the history of our institution. We create lanes, and this was the ultimate lane that we will create. I think we would have done well. I understand the challenges, and I hope one day we can officially play a game and have a season. So, and I'm gonna just leave it at that.
We are the Mavericks of HBCUs, and so just like you, I want to go to a game. I want to be just as engaged in hockey, college hockey, just as much. I want to be engaged in anything else we put out there at Tennessee State. So like you said, it's not just about diversity. It's just about just being different and being better. Not saying, just take it for what it is. It's who we are, right? But I will say this: I'm happy we still are going for it. That is still the goal, right?
Yep.
And that not just putting it away, right? But we knew 5 months ago that we were nowhere close to the funds that we needed to that their goal. We weren't close to their goal. Their goal was 2 mils, if I'm not mistaken. That we were nowhere close to that.
2 million.
Yeah, 2 million, right? And we weren't anywhere close to that. So this was thrown out there by the past administration, whose ever dream it was, if it was Dr. Glover's, whoever dream it was. And when it all came out there, this whole thing about money maybe we should have put this on the back burner then when we started when the news came out about having struggles about financing things. I mean, look, we had to now money was owed to us, and we did receive some of that money. So the money that was given is $96 million that was given to us, was owed to us. But that helped us. I mean, look, again, and it's no secret we had to, just to pay bills, right? We needed that money from the state just to pay bills, just to keep going, right? So how can you start a program, a hockey program, which costs a lot of money? It's more than this, than a soccer team. It's more than archery or rifle, whatever, swimming. It's a whole lot more than that. So it just, everyone knew it, right? You didn't have to say it. Everyone was questioning it. Everyone was wondering, how are we going to do this when we still got to pay these professors over here, right? So, but then we get this 96 million. We got Tucker, President Tucker, going around and having these meetings, and everything is going great. We in great standing. We got now the marketing of the university is great, and then boom, another hit. Another hit that we could have avoided if we just said, a while ago, just said, hey, you know what? We're gonna just scale it back. We're not gonna talk about this hockey thing. We're not gonna, we're just gonna scale it back. And I just think that it just could have been done better. Then we get to this point, because we all felt it. We all was kind of wondering, but no one was saying it.
Yeah.
And then now, you have this article comes out, HBCU hockey team on ice. And then you got somebody, I saw another tweet with someone that said, hey man, TSU, what's your cash out? Because you know what, this is getting embarrassing. Right? Someone put that out there on Twitter. So, and it is, right? It is. It's something else that's just another embarrassing news that we could have
It
avoided.
is. But here's so Mattis, you was getting to it, and what I'm hearing is optics, right? Optics, and this has been the conversation around Tennessee State for the last 5 to 7 years, right? It's really been based on optics. And what do I mean by that? When President Glover was around, we had issues about money, right, wrong, or indifferent. It is what it is. Housing, right? How are we going to build a new football stadium when we got kids living in Goodwill Manor, right? Optics. How we going to have invest 2 million, or even if it ain't your money, it's somebody else's money. How can we start a hockey program that we all know it's going to need more than 2 million?
Right.
Right? How are we going to do that when we just reallocated 96 million to help with operating expenses? Right. We just broke ground on a new agriculture building. Right. So to me, it's a little bit of politics 101 in this, a little bit of brand management 101 in terms of this hockey thing is nice, but we got to push that out a little bit, just from an optics. And I wouldn't be surprised if because you notice there ain't been no announcement about the renovation of the track and field. I mean, we've seen renderings. There ain't been no announcement about it. There ain't really been no announcement about anything athletic infrastructure wise in these last 5 to 7 years. We've been hearing about it. We've been seeing renderings. We haven't seen no massive announcement.
The pool has been is back functioning.
Correct.
No release. The track is fixed. No release. You're right. I mean, it's like this really hush about it. And and that needs to change. I'm not sure what politics is going on behind the scenes with athletics and the school and optics. That's very difficult. Another thing I was thinking about,
Mumpower's been on campus having lunch with the students.
yeah,
So uh,
And 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 the thing about it is, and we're, of course, they're trying to do this, and they're trying to do this, but getting outside monies, outside resources. But you have to come back to the alumni to fund.
yeah,
And to be honest with you, it what's the primary? We're torn. Like, we just had the what is that for? The alumni giving day. All right.
hmm
And okay, I'm assuming that's to go towards students to,
yeah,
help them stay in school. Rightfully, that's a great push. But then, you got hockey out there. We're trying to, because you got to come back to the same pool, the people, to help, right? I mean, you go out to some other folks, but you still got to come back to the same pool to help. And then we're trying to fund hockey, engineering. I prefer that we have a new engineering building. To be honest with you,
which
um,
that money was that's a separate pool of money.
that's a separate pool of money, right?
But I
Because
heard that ain't enough.
we had to use engineering money for something else, for
they got
operation, right?
still got to raise $2-3 million, I think it was,
Right,
to get that building operational as
right.
well.
So, and look, again, I don't want to go into details of the ins and outs because I know very little about it, right? So all I'm just saying is, just like you're spot on, Demetrius, and that it's a it's a branding issue, as you said.
And also too, I was thinking too, infrastructure, right? I know that President Tucker's talking about raising $100 million, and I think he's pretty good. We've never done anything like this before. We don't have infrastructure to do it. So even though we love Dante Abercrombie and Nick Guerrero, they have ties and stuff like that. But they we don't. They're trying to raise money with no typical things you need to do to raise money. They don't have a CRM. They don't have any wealth management. They don't have. So it's really sort of up to them hustling, making phone calls, and figure out who they know. But if you're raising money for things like this, there's some structure behind it. It's great you know somebody, but you need some kind of a method and methodology to how you're going to raise money, and like that doesn't exist right now, right? So I think it's pretty you know. hard for anybody to say, "Hey, I'm new here. I'm well known. I'm gonna raise some money." It's like that's not something that can last long and
Yeah.
like you be efficient with. And I think that's another problem too. But one thing I will say about the letter is that this is the first time I've seen since the announcement a couple years ago that the letter had NHL and the Predators and Tennessee State. Because you hear rumors about maybe some at some point the relationship got rocky, maybe as they're trying to build this program out for several different reasons. So it's good that they're now on the same page. Now all three can work together to try to support and launch this thing on 26-27. And gives him way more time. And he spoke to many groups. Dante came to DC, where he's based out of this area, but he came to DC, talked. He came to the Nationals, I think, too, and spoke to people. So he's very, very outgoing and very getting out there. But
hmm
he definitely needs some more support and structure to help him go out there and get the name out. And again, if you are reaching out to somebody, who's sort of wealthy, and you Google in Tennessee State, and it's like, y'all gonna be open? Like, I give you
Right.
$1 million. Like, do you
Right.
really, like you said earlier, like, do you really $1 million for a hockey team? I mean, so it's like, you talk to any of these NHL guys or anybody who's wealthy, it's like, this may be a sinking ship, but we don't know. I don't know what's going on here. It's not clear.
Right.
So this really
Right.
gives them a chance to really come up with some more strategic sit down with the NHL and the Predators and really sit down and say, let's make a good target list, make a good solid ask for what we need to make sure this thing lasts several years, and
Yep.
really come together. Whereas him just getting on, using social media, trying to spread the word of mouth kind of thing, which has a benefit, but you need support to raise that kind of money, and sit in rooms that, people can say, oh, how much you need? Oh, okay, I got that. Let's go. You need people like that. You need somebody, you need a big funder, I honestly really do, to really get this thing going, to make this thing last, 5, 10, 15 years. You need one big person say, I got this. Let's take care of it.
Right. And to your point, 28 is, you know, Ronnie, you're not giving 5 million if there's any slither of doubt
Yeah.
that the doors aren't going to be closed.
Mm-hmm.
Which I never, I get texted, your TSU gonna be open? Like, come on, man. Like, for real. Let's just stop. Let's stop for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've been open since 1912, and we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be open. Okay,
Yeah.
let's stop. But I think things are coming in place to where hockey, you ain't number one right now. You number 10 on the list. You know what I mean? Now next year you're gonna be number 3, and then okay, let's push it out a year. Let's do it right. And I think the three of us are all in agreement that if we got to delay it by a year, delay it by a year, as long as it's done right.
Right.
Yeah. 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 So we'll see. I mean, hope we get Dante back on again, see how he plans to repivot and do all kind of things to make sure this works out. But
Hey, I'm gonna say one more thing though. I'm gonna say one more thing, fellas. Abercrombie, Nick, Dr. Allen, y'all better do it because the way my dad body's shaping up, I can't. If I'm gonna wear my white fur,
mm,
my plan was to just wear the white fur.
mm.
But the way this dad body's shaping up, I might have to go in a different direction. So y'all messing up my game plan.
Mm,
You get your in-house gym.
yeah, you get it going. Yeah, so we'll see what happens, and we had to lay our furs, hang back up in the closet. Just make sure you get dry clean before you come back out. 26, 27, but we'll get there. But yeah, but we'll see. Football. So, Coach Reggie Barlow was building staff out, and unfortunately, Coach Keiss said he's not coming. So if you look on the website, I mean, we'll mention this: the website, the roster website is being updated. We got Greg Williams on as a coach. We got Coach Thornton as a coach. Based on Instagram, seems to be more people there that are coaching. But since I'm not going to say who they are because it's not officially on the website, so I'm gonna wait a little bit. But so what are your thoughts on Coach Keiss not coming to the TSU?
I'll start with that. So I was I was really disappointed because Kais, again, the first when we talked about him coming, and then initially, we talked about his offense and how potent it is, and and how he stretches defenses and keeps them guessing. And he just keeps pushing. Um, and I was really excited because he's gonna have the ball in the air. Of course, he's gonna run the ball, but he also gonna have the ball in the air. And so it's disappointing. But again, as long as Shannon Harris is here, I'm okay. as long as as long as he's on campus and he's behind the calling the plays, I'm okay. So that was the thing, because I'll be out. I've listened to Harris on Coach Harris on a couple of podcasts. And there's one that I think Johnny Cole has, and he talked about it. And one of the questions they asked him if he was still coming. Now this is a while back. Asked him if he was still coming, and Harris, he political about it, of course. And he said, "Well, you just never know what happens. He said what he should say, because they had just
Yeah.
won the championship. So So as long as again, and I saw a picture of him with his TSU shirt on at TSU just recently. So I'm hoping he's here to stay. As long as he's here to stay, I'm okay. Of course, cats know how to. When you call plays, man, it's not just calling the plays. It's about when to call them. It's about their rhythm. And making sure you just put it in. You calling at the right times, man. But I'm sure Shannon Harris. He been with Cass a long time. They've been together a long time. He got it. I'm sure he can put in his own little things too. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Rodney, can you pull up the roster? Is any coaching updates?
There's a three on there. So I will see all of them this weekend. They have a DC Defenders championship rally on Saturday. So I think I'm gonna try to get out the house. I say that now, but I'm out the house. And I am going to try to go out and go to it. So my goal is it's at 4:00. So I really have an excuse not to.
I missed that. What are you trying to get to?
Oh, so DC Defenders, they did finally decide to do it's not really a parade, but it's a more of a pet rally awards kind of thing. Bring a trophy out. They'll have that on the DC Wharf on Saturday. So I'm going to go. It's 4 to 6 o'clock. So I'm going to go and Shannon be there and the players. So
no, they deserve it. They deserve it, man.
Yeah,
they deserve it.
So looking forward to attending that and getting out the house and doing that. All right. So this is I think it's split screen. All right, so this is the roster. So we see this is an order of this numbers.
Can we go to the coaching staff?
Okay.
It's all the way down at the bottom. Just scroll down.
Oh, they don't do it any like that.
It's on the left. It's on the left.
Oh, right there. Okay. They moved it. Okay. Yes, this is what we got right now. This guy's listed.
Okay.
I know that there's an O-line coach. I know that there's a defensive line coach. I know there's a safeties coach.
Right.
So all those names have been. You look on. There's a tight ends coach as well on Twitter.
Special teams.
I haven't seen a special teams coach yet.
What y'all laughing at?
I
thought that was a holdover.
Yeah. We I think we moved on from getting burned on special teams. We moved on from that. So
filleted on
jeez. Wow, I never seen. Yeah, wow. Yeah,
anyway,
I think probably my old high school a game where we had a good punt returner that we were going up against, and I remember we kicked him one time, and our coach ripped him a good one. What are you doing? Why would you do that? You never kick it and see it again. He was like, so he really got into him. What are you doing? He did rest of the game. He kicked to him. Actually, he may have taken out the game, so he didn't have opportunity to do that anymore. But that's sort of popped in my head. Sorry, my bad. Football flashback. But so I know some guys out there working with the guys. We got close to 90 guys out there. So rebuilt team. We just signed another quarterback yesterday. That was announced. So I'm pretty sure we got people on the roster that we don't know who they are right now. But they have begun to do some updates. Nick Guerrero, who I was also over media content as well as hockey, he mentioned that, hey, it takes a little while because you got to individually upload each person's name and photo, which I don't know why we got 1900 website, but whatever. And I got 1912 website. We got to do that one by one. So we should see some more progressions with who's on our team and what our team will actually look like going forward. Now, who's on our staff too as well. So, yeah. So,
Cool beans.
we'll
Well,
see.
hey,
But
it's right around the corner. Looking forward
yeah,
to it.
yeah. And one thing with Greg, I guess Williams, that will be different is that he's more of a blitzer. Even go back to Coach Reed, he's more of a stay base kind of going back there. Fisher was more of a stay, even though towards the end he did blitz a little more last year to make the we just needed blitz, and he did do that. But Greg Williams is more of an aggressive blitzer, so we're interested to see how he implements his defense here. So we'll see how all this sort of shapes out and shapes up.
Yeah. He uses his DBs a lot, or has used his DBs a lot, and for blitzing. And you look at his DBs, they're a little larger.
Yeah, we got some size. And that's one thing too. I think I don't know if I mentioned before. It was like we lost. I think as we switched coaches, we let a lot of people go before we had a coaching change. Before Eddie left, right? We let some guys go. Then after Eddie left, some more guys left. And I wonder sometimes too, it's too late to look. But some of the guys they may have kept, because Eddie, I think they're going to replace some of them with new players. But things shifted out, whatever. But I'm sure some of the guys who left before with Eddie probably would have stayed if they knew this was happening. But whatever, we'll see how this team sort of shapes out for this season once everything gets loaded. But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah,
we have. So
big time season coming. Big time season.
Yes, sir.
12 games. Yeah, we coming in 8 home games. You all may not be at the tailgate anymore. I think there are going to be some restrictions. Don't create a website without telling President Tucker, because you'll get memoed. Right? It's easy to desist real quick. So make sure you go to the proper channels to do some actual branding and marketing, supporting the university before you go out there and make a website about a party or something during homecoming. So,
I missed the.
Yep.
I missed his town hall meeting. Did he announce the host hotel?
No,
I
just
think
to be
so.
announced during his town hall.
No, I don't recall that being discussed. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when I say town hall, I mean, it was his webinar.
I don't recall that being discussed. He just sort of mentioned. I guess we can talk about that. I mean, he talked about potentially returning to play in Memphis against Jackson State. He did talk about that. And also he did announce the UT game. And that could potentially be played, of course, in Knoxville. New stadium is ready. Maybe they'll play them in Nashville.
I ain't got no problem with that. Even if we the guests, I ain't got no problem with that.
So
I do. I have a problem with that, but I'll leave it at that.
Well, I mean, we could talk about it. I think the only reason I don't have a problem with it is if the agreement is worked out to where it financially works out for us.
Oh, for sure. Oh, absolutely. So the field would definitely have to be TSU. For me, and again, we just hypothetical here. We don't know where it's going to be played, and we're just talking right now. But for me, if it's played in Nissan, I mean not the new Nissan, I would want, that is our home field, and yes, UT is not going to go to an FCS school to play them,
right.
but I would hope that there was some signature on the field where TSU was there, and then financially, which is the biggest part, that it is greatly beneficial to Tennessee State and not just UT. Because I think probably splitting the gate in a game like that would be just as much in them just paying us straight out. But I think we should also get a little bit of money from them too.
And I wonder if that's some discussion because generally they don't pay like Notre Dame, right? Let's be honest here, they don't. They pay like I think most they pay somebody like $5.25, I want to say, or $5.15. I think they play with Austin P. So they're way below average for FBS team. No, they don't have Notre Dame money, right? The one is like, hey, play in Nashville. We want the liquor sales. We want the we want the parking. We want the ticket sales, whatever, and then they can sort of pay us something comparable. Because they haven't played in Nashville in a while, right? Because you generally play every couple
They
of
play
years.
there for a ball
Vanderbilt.
game.
Well, like in Nissan. They did play that. So they played. I know they used to try to play Nissan every once in a while. So they did play a bowl game there a couple years ago. Okay. But I know they had to come to Nashville. I know they had to come to Nashville. So probably a good way to get there. Vanderbilt's so limited, in space.
Just to get the game and just to get the money. Sometimes we, I ain't talking about just TSU, but just in HBCUs in general, we kind of sell our souls a little bit. And I just want to make sure it's worth it. I don't, we demand some of this respect, and because we bring, yes, UT is the draw, but we bring something to this too, and we've been putting in a lot of money to play in Nissan, and so we deserve our kickback. Don't let them just bully us for something.
Yeah.
Let's make it worth our while.
Capitol Hill is gonna make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Capitol Hill is gonna make that happen.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens and how the deal finally finalizes and who else we play. So another thing I happened to,
Rodney,
I guess,
if we get $2 million and UT is the home draw, you would you take it?
yes, I don't. So
Lamar, would you take it?
So this is something
You
that
get $2 million.
$2 million.
Okay, so I don't know how much the gate would be in a new stadium. And probably let's say if it's the first game in that stadium, the ticket's going to be a lot. I would like to know how much. What's the possible amount of revenue from ticket sales to just say if I take $2 million, would I?
Straight tickets, 60,000 people times $50 is $3 million. That's 60% of the gate.
I'll take it.
And so another thing too, I think about, I know we've been flirting around with this idea of trying to bring Hale back, right, too, as well. I know we're contracted to use Nissan sometimes, right? So to me, would that be signaling too that we will have some games back at Hale because we'll have some funding to put Hale together, which and that's what I wonder about with that too as well. I don't know if that's possible or not because I don't know what UT how much they have to pay to say it's their home game. Right. And that's one thing I don't know. Because we sort of will be giving up. So I don't know. I don't know if you can say it's a neutral site with an FCS school. I guess technically that's not. I know Grambling did that with Tulane for a while. They tried it out as a classic. So maybe that's not, since it's sort of considered a neutral site. And I guess I don't know what because our home field is not neutral. So I don't know what gymnastics would have to like have to say that UT is not traveling to play at Tennessee State. I don't know what gymnastics have to happen to make sure that that's not what's going on. To make sure the SEC's like, or whoever, like, nah, that can't happen. Or is there just a waiver? We don't have any NCAA anymore. I mean, who cares about them? They don't have any power. So, yeah, is there a
In,
way
in
for
order, I don't care,
You
man. I'm
got
just telling you, I don't care who it
it.
is. I don't care who it is. But whoever come into our home stadium, and
Mm,
for us not to say it's our home stadium, they better be paying a hell of a lot of money.
yeah.
Right.
That's all I gotta
Right.
say. They better be paying us a hell of a lot of money in order for you to come into our stadium and say, no, this is our home game. This is not your stadium today. It is ours.
Mm,
So
I don't know,
so
man.
so you UT pays us $2 million, and Tennessee Titans pay us $250,000 because technically we're not playing a home game there.
yeah.
Would you do it?
Yeah, if
I,
you say
So
if
I would like it. I would like to be like consider like a shared, like a classic feel. Like it's shared markings.
yeah,
It's shared.
yeah,
It's just sort of like
and
racial.
and that's my
Yeah.
point. Like that's my
Yeah.
point, right? You got the largest state school in Tennessee, the only HBCU state school in the state of Tennessee, who've never played each other in Nashville, right? In a stadium that was what? But correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to put this out there because I'm not sure, but I believe that there was state funding behind this stadium.
Yes, it was.
uh-huh,
Yeah. It's
uh-huh.
fun.
So all the dots aligned. Call it the State of Tennessee Classic. I don't give a hell. To me, like, Madness, I know you. Yeah, I know you want this to be like your home game, and I'm all for
No,
that. But
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying is all I'm saying is you got to treat it. You have to treat it like you're purchasing us.
right,
You're purchasing our game from us.
right,
Just don't say, hey, we'll play y'all, and Nissan is gonna be strike with University of Tennessee, and and oh yeah, here's your meal. When I know there's a lot more money that can be generated from that. You can't
Mm,
just give me
yeah,
$1 million because I know good and well UT fans people are gonna come just to see the stadium.
yeah.
they're going.
They're gonna and
So
it's gonna be
is it going to be the first game of that stadium? Tennessee State
Yeah.
no.
versus
I don't think
TSU.
anyone knows.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
I
would
think
mean, we
be.
anyone
better
knows that
take
right now.
five. We better take 5 million because they're gonna have a sponsor. They're gonna have a sponsor. Uh, Parking, a
Yeah.
concession is gonna be on full tilt. It's gonna be 65,000 in there, right? Get you a local sponsor or a state sponsor. No, the floor is 3 million.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's why I didn't want to necessarily commit to say just two, because I think there's a lot more money to be had if we bring a certain number. If do you know in some games, if you bring a certain number of fans or supporters or visitors to some games, you get hotel money.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
not TSU, but other
Yeah.
Like other
other
cities,
venues. Yeah.
Essence is like that. Yeah, yep.
Right, right. So, and I don't know. I don't know what we get. I don't know when like a homecoming. I don't know what we get
Yeah.
from these hotels and all that, from these venues when for a TSU homecoming. But again, there's a lot of money to be had from a game like that, and
Yeah.
which is why I just can't say, all right, 1 million is just okay or 2 million is okay.
I mean, you could do a band competition too as well. I mean, UT has a large band. I don't necessarily known like as one of the better bands, but that's there. A lot of students will come. I mean, so a lot of things can happen even outside the game that could be beneficial. That we can sort of work together and to generate some revenue for Tennessee State. You know, um, to make this sort of work out for
Optics,
us. Optics. Yeah.
optics. Yes, they've been getting
Hmm.
all the money, and we ain't been getting it.
Yeah.
This is
Mhm.
this. you know, they can take less money for one game.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. So we'll see how that works out and how they, decipher. But how TSU, how things work at Tennessee State, what we're going through, and how we're trying to grow our brand back. Uh, and really show that we can serve our students and serve our alumni. I think that's sort of happening. So we'll see. Alumni, if you should ever see the email about rating President Tucker, fill it out if you haven't already. It was sent out about a week and a half ago. So fill that
I
out.
did mine.
Just fill that out. Let your feelings be heard, and
Gave that brother A++.
yeah, same here. Same here. Um, on that note, go Big Blue.
Before we leave, before we close, I just want to eventually, not tonight. Let me just close it out. But eventually, I want to talk about. Look, Utah Tech and Southern Utah has left United Athletic Conference, the UAC. That may have some impact on the OBC.
how
At one point, I want to discuss it at some point, not
Yeah,
necessarily
yeah.
tonight.
how
Somebody did a video about it. This is speculation.
Well, and
And
it's funny. This is before he did the video. I kid you not. This is before the video I sent you guys is before he did that video. I had wanted to discuss this as soon as Utah Tech and Southern Utah left. I felt like, okay, this may affect us, and not the way that you're thinking,
positive or
not what he
negatively?
said. It could be negative because
I need to.
it,
I ain't seen the video yet.
okay, all right. But I will just say
go
this
ahead.
real
Go ahead.
quick.
You got it. Go ahead, Lamar. Go. You got
All
it.
right,
You
I'll
5
say it
minutes.
real
We
quick.
talk about it later. We give it. Yeah.
All right, I'll just throw it out there. So
No.
without Utah Tech and Southern Utah, here's the United Athletic Conference: Eastern Kentucky, Austin Peay, North Alabama, West Georgia, Central Arkansas, UT Arlington, Abilene Christian, and Tarleton State. That's
Right.
8. What's that? 8.
Hey,
That's 8
schools.
teams, 8 schools, right? And it's not necessarily about now. Tarleton State. People are looking at Tarleton State, which is in Texas, maybe like the Sun Belt or Conference USA. They,
Yep.
they're probably like the next FCS team to go FBS, right? I know Sacramento State is out there; they wanted to go FBS, but right now they don't have anyone who would take them. So Tarleton State will probably fit in the Sun Belt or Conference USA map, you know. So I'm sure UAC is going to want to get other teams. They could come after the OVC. They could come after, and what I think they may come after is probably, I don't know if they'll come after, or Charleston Southern or Gardner Webb may even, request acceptance into their league. And I just did some preliminary numbers. Y'all know this is what I do, but I did some preliminary numbers. Charleston Southern to go all the way out there to Abilene Christian, University of West Georgia, North Alabama, and all that is 1,257 miles total. For them to play OVC teams is 5,275. That's barely 1,000 miles. I mean, this how just for football now. That's just for football. If they had to travel to each game, each game, that's how much they would travel within a year. Now, of course, they would, they wouldn't travel. They wouldn't play all away games. But if they
Yeah.
had to, 6,257 to be part of the UAC, 5,275 miles is what they're doing right now in the OBC. Gardner Webb, they travel 5,422 miles, total miles, to if they wanted to go to UAC, 5,422. But for the OVC, they travel 4,088. It's a little better Gardner Webb's a little better fit for the OVC than Charleston Southern is. They're better fit for the OVC than they are for the UAC. But Charleston Southern, we got close games. Charleston Southern have a close game against University of West Georgia, only 332 miles. EKU, 498 miles. University of Northern Alabama, 544 miles, and it's only because they have to go their travel is crazy. It would be a lot shorter if they didn't have to go major highways, right? If they didn't have to go major highways, it could actually be shorter than that. But here's what Charleston Southern is traveling to OVC. The closest team is Tennessee Tech, which is 456 miles. TSU, 536 miles. And this is not including Gardner Webb. UTM, 677 miles. They're traveling just as far in the OVC than they would as they would in the UAC. So it could affect schools in the OVC as well as those schools. And I think that conference is probably just a tad stronger when it comes to football as well.
Yeah.
UAC.
UAC, because you got.
So help me. So help me. So Nostradamus, give me the tie it all together for me. Are you saying that by Utah? You say Utah Tech and who else?
Utah Tech and Southern Utah left the UAC.
They were in Utah.
Left.
They were the outliers.
So that essentially creates two openings.
Well, no, not necessarily two openings, but now it makes the UAC is a little bit more geographically fit, and they're geographically a better fit for the East Coast, right?
Okay.
South and East, southeastern.
So
US.
you're saying that
they could come after a Tennessee Tech. They come out to UT Martin because now that these Utah schools are gone. Okay, now it makes sense, right? Yeah. And then now we hear, and what that guy was talking about, who did that podcast, he was suggesting that there are talks supposedly of two teams in the OVC who want to go to the ASUN, Atlantic Sun Conference, to play basketball. ASUN is a basketball only conference, right?
Yes.
But the UAC plays. They have an agreement just like we do with the Big South in football. They have an agreement with the ASUN. The UAC has an agreement with the ASUN to play basketball.
So, and it's two conferences: ASUN basketball, and it's no WAC. It's just UAC basketball. So it's 17 in ASUN, 8 in the old WAC.
Right.
So the UAC.
Yeah, USC. The USC with 8 teams, so there's space for them to add. They combined football, broke apart basketball, so it's still too big, and it's too big league in basketball. So there's opportunities there. So if you don't play football, you can be with schools that don't generally have football.
It makes sense for a possible Little Rock or SIUE or Southern Indiana, which people are saying is possibly they really think it's Southern Indiana and SIUE that's having these discussions with ASUN. So that's what he on that podcast I sent you. That's what he was discussing, the possibility of teams going to the UAC or ASUN.
So Rodney, go ahead, Rodney.
I was saying even with the MEAC and their problems, that's what pulls them to that's another opportunity there too as well for them. So.
So based on what I'm hearing, Lamar, this is what I'm hearing, right? President Tucker. Hold on, let me get my names right. Hold on.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this.
Hold on. So, President Tucker gets on the phone with President Alexander Conyers at South Carolina State. He gets on the phone with him, and he calls him, take your basketball to Atlantic Sun, I take my basketball Atlantic son. We both go join the UAC for football.
But if yeah, that would be great. But just think about it though. You don't have to. If they get 2 extra teams, we don't have to play our basketball in ASUN. We just play it in UAC. Because I'm sure they're only playing in UAC because there's only eight teams with the threat of losing
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah.
But to your point,
And
yes.
also that'd be central too as well. So the thing that probably take off. But I listened to some of the old HBCU. It's not game day. It's the other one, HBCU. I can't think of his thing. The nightly. There we go, nightly. They were saying so like basically the southern part of MEAC may do something different than the northern part of the So Central and South Carolina State may be, since they're more aligned, they could go in different places. If that did fall apart. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
And if we did lose, if the OBC loses one football team, I don't think there's no coming back from that. Unless you're gonna wait on Chicago State. Because they're about to bring back football. They
got nine football schools.
Who's that?
Nine
I'm
OBC.
sorry.
9 OBC football schools.
Yeah.
Well, 7. Not Big South. 7.
Well,
so we have enough
it's still an alliance.
Yeah. I'm saying, but you still have, if the 2 left, like you said, we have 7 schools still, and you still could sort of maintain your auto building and stuff like that. But you have to create another alliance with somebody else to keep the thing going. So a lot of things can happen. I think the Mid-South to coastal area is really interesting for FCS right now. And you got the Missouri Valley Conference who did pretty much an alliance with Horizon League. So you can sort of, they did that to make sure that some teams can play similar to what the ASUN and the WAC did, UAC did, sort of like they have a strong alliance. So you can play basketball here and play football here. So it's like we got 2 conferences right in the outskirts and in our backyard to sort of like solidify themselves for growth. And the Missouri Valley and Horizon League have better basketball than OVC, right? And ASUN, WAC have better basketball than OVC. So, I mean, it's sort of like, and better football to be, definitely better football. There's no, Missouri Valley, there's no question. But, ASUN is ranked higher than us too as well. So, so it's sort of a lot.
That's why I brought it up, not necessarily for TSU to do anything
later, but yeah, that's sort of what. Yeah,
but all I'm saying. But if they're gonna be pressing for, especially if Tarleton State leaves, then you can believe there's gonna be an all-out blitz on some other schools that may have in OVC or elsewhere.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
just want to make that point.
We have the ability to schedule 6 games now out of conference. Other schools don't have that, and our conference don't have that same ability that we will have. We could easily
play
6 games. It's now a 12-game season, guys. If you didn't know, it's a 12-game season. So another update from that side of football too as well. So yeah, so let's talk about that in more detail next time. Give you the high-end overview, but it'll be interesting to see how all this sort of shakes out. And with conference realignment, it stays with us forever. It seems like that's forever.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So now we're gonna say, "Go Big Blue."
Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.
All right. All right. Mm.